So before we get into today's video, just a little announcement. I was lucky enough to be invited onto the Noble podcast the other day, talking a little bit about the reasoning behind my support of the Chicago Bulls, what I think about previous teams, and what I think about this season's team going into the playing against the Toronto Raptors. So if you have any spare time, you want to give it a listen, I'll leave a link in the description. It's on Spotify, it's on all of your podcast platforms, stuff like that. So yeah, go check it out and let's get straight into the video. Now, the final day of the NBA's regular season is upon us, and coming with that comes a lot of interesting matchups that could define where teams finish ahead of the playoffs. Now, this doesn't count anything in the East. Everywhere in the East has been finalized, but in the West, it's a little bit tighter. Now, you see, in the East, all of the seeds are finalized, 1 through 6, and the playing spots. No one can move up or down. In the West, only the seeds 1 to 4 are finalized, and the 10th seed in the Thunder. But tiers 5 to 9 can be decided on the final day. And let's be honest, as a man from the UK myself, I'm definitely going to be tuning into one of the 4 games that are going to be taking place at 8:30 tonight to decide where either the Warriors, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Timberwolves, or the Pelicans are going to finish in this season's NBA regular season standings out west. Now, there are a lot of possible scenarios that could happen. So if I end up checking my phone at any point throughout today's video, allow me, because it's so unbelievably complicated. I'm going to try and get a graphic up on screen right about now. If I can't, then I do apologize. But literally, there is around about 30 odd different scenarios that could happen if random teams win, that could shape essentially whether teams finish in a playoff lock, the 7 or 8 play-in, or ninth place in the West and have to go through a 9-10 play-in. Now, for you guys that don't know, obviously, the play-in works that the 7 and 8 seeds battle it out for the right to the 7th seed. So the winner in that game plays the second seed. They get the 7th seed, they play the second seed in the first round of the playoffs. On the other side of that, the 9th and the 10th seeds battle it out in like a win or go home situation, and the winners of that game play the losers of the 7 and 8 game to decide who takes the 8th seed. So a lot rides on bypassing the play-in completely, finishing 5th or 6th, or like finishing 9th means that you have to win 2 straight to just be the 8th seed. Whereas if you finish 7th or 8th, you only have to win once and you can be the 7th seed and you can lose that one and still afford to get into the playoffs. So a lot does end up riding on it, which is why tonight is going to be extremely interesting for the landscape of the NBA, especially out west. I do realize I've been talking about the West quite a bit, but the West has literally been so exciting throughout the last month or so, and it could have been even more exciting if the Dallas Mavericks hadn't have intentionally tanked and threw away their whole season by playing Luka for a quarter against the Bulls and then just pretty much putting out their G League team. So it could have been even more convoluted, but it's not. Um, I promise I will talk a bit more about the East in future videos, especially when the playoffs start. So if you guys want a full playoff preview, like I'm doing a final day preview today, then let me know. Leave a like on the video, comment down below what you guys want to see throughout the playoffs and then into the postseason as well. So let's get straight into it with the easiest kind of scenario. I should probably say what teams are playing who as well, and this is where I'm gonna check my notes because again, I'm awful with remembering this kind of stuff. So just allow me. The Clippers, they play the Suns, so that's a big matchup, a tough matchup. Obviously, the Suns have confirmed the 4th seed. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that one. The Warriors play the Blazers. The Jazz play the Lakers. So the Lakers have a home game against the Jazz. And then it's the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, the 8th and 9th seed, battling it out in the final game of the regular season. And if I'm honest with you, if you guys are going to watch any game tonight, I would recommend the Pelicans and the Timberwolves and we'll talk about the easiest scenario, and that's the 9th seed at the moment. The loser of that game will be confined to the 9th seed this season. So the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, whoever loses that game, is going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder at home in the one and done win or go home situation to have a chance of getting the 8th seed this season. And now this is where everything kind of blows up. It's all mental. So again, allow me if I make any mistakes. I shouldn't make any mistakes because I editing. But essentially, the Clippers and the Warriors. The easiest situation for them to confirm a playoff lock. So the Clippers currently sit in fifth. The Warriors currently sit in fourth. So if the Clippers and the Suns, that could be a preview of the first round. You know, the Suns have confirmed fourth. The Clippers at the moment are fifth. If the Clippers win that game, they're going to finish fifth in the Western Conference, and they'll play Phoenix in the first round, which is a very tough matchup. Whoever finishes sixth is going to go up against the Sacramento Kings. Obviously, a Kings franchise that haven't made the playoffs since 2006. So a potential, if you finish sixth, you're potentially going to go into it almost as favourites, especially the Warriors or the Lakers. The likes of them two teams who have been there and done it in the playoffs with the current core that they have pretty much. So playing against a team that lack playoff experience, you probably back them maybe even as a lesser seed, but it's all about that risk. Do you intentionally tank and lose to try and get the sixth seed, but then you're also risking potentially falling into the play-in? So for the Clippers and the Warriors, the easiest way for them to confirm a place in the playoffs, just without even needing to go through the play-in, is by winning their game. So if the Warriors beat the Blazers and the Clippers beat the Suns, the Clippers are going to finish fifth and the Warriors are going to finish sixth. That's probably the best outcome if you're a Golden State Warriors fan. However, don't bank on a win against the Blazers too much. Yes, I know it's the Blazers and they're kind of sitting everyone out. They've shut Dame down. They probably won't have any of their good players because they want to lose as many games to try and get Victor Wembanyama. But it's an away game, and the Warriors are absolutely terrible on the road this season. So who knows what may happen in that one. But with the Clippers, it's also a case of, do you want to try and lose that one and maybe try and drop down? Because the Phoenix Suns are dangerous. The Phoenix Suns are probably the favourites out of the West. Even though they are going to finish fourth, there's teams that have had better regular season records than them. They are 8-0 with Kevin Durant in the starting lineup, well, in the team. They're going to need to hope that one of their big four can get injured throughout the playoff series if they're going to really have a chance of getting through to the conference semifinals. So a lot of things that may happen that teams may think about. Can they afford to maybe try and drop to that sixth seed? Because the sixth seed's probably the most valuable seed in the West. No offense to Sacramento, but like I said, we don't know what they're about in the playoffs. All of these people haven't really played much playoff basketball, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that one. Now, as for the Lakers, a loss to Utah, which probably won't happen. Utah are eliminated from playoff contention. They've been sitting Larry Markkinen and the like for the last few games. So they probably shouldn't lose to the Utah Jazz. But if they do lose to the Jazz, they're going to be confined to an 8th seed. So they'll be the road team in the 7th versus 8th matchup. Imagine if we get Golden State versus the Lakers yet again in the 7v8 matchup. A rematch of that first ever play-in game between them two teams, and it was an absolute mental game. So that'll be interesting to see, just on a bit of a tangent. However, the Lakers can also drop to the 8th seed even if they win. So they could win the game and still drop further down, and this is why. Now, if you look at the New Orleans Pelicans, we're going to bring them back in. Let's say that they win against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They hold the 3-way tiebreaker between themselves, the Lakers, and the Clippers. However, they don't hold the tiebreaker just against the Lakers. So the only reason that the Lakers will drop down to 8th, and this boggles my mind as well, I don't really understand it, is if the Clippers lose, the Warriors win, and the Pelicans win. So that means that the Warriors will finish 5th, and the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Pelicans will all be on the same record. Now, if that happens, because the New Orleans Pelicans have the tiebreaker on the two LA teams, they leapfrog the two LA teams and they finish 6th. So the best outcome for the New Orleans Pelicans is if they win, and then Golden State and LA win. Also, they can still do it if the Lakers lose, because they have the tiebreaker over the Clippers as well. So for the Pelicans, you're going to be looking at that Suns game and hoping, let's hope that the Clippers can drop one here, and then hope that Utah can do us a favor too. But with the Pelicans, obviously no Zion. He's potentially going to miss the first round of the playoffs too. Maybe you are wanting that 6th seed just so you can play the Kings. But equally, if you're a Kings fan, who are you wanting? Who do you want in the first round? You're not going to want the Warriors, are you? Because they're a next level team. They're scary. It's there's too many spinning wheels in this whole scenario, but it's going to make for a very interesting final day, in my opinion. Now, if you're a Lakers fan, though, you can potentially finish sixth if you win and the Warriors lose. Now, if the Warriors lose, the Lakers are going to have the same record as the Golden State Warriors. If the Lakers manage to get that win against Utah, which they should, they'll be hoping that the Golden State Warriors can lose. If Minnesota beat New Orleans and Portland beat Golden State, the Lakers will get the number 6 seed no matter what happens in the Clippers game, because they'll have a better record than the Warriors, and they have the tiebreaker over the Pelicans. I don't really, like I said, I don't understand how the Lakers can have the tiebreaker over the Pelicans, but if the Clippers end up with the same record as the Lakers and the Pelicans, then the Lakers finish below the Pelicans. It's all convoluted. I don't really understand it. The Lakers can also finish sixth if they beat Utah and New Orleans win, Portland win, and LA win as well. So if you're a Lakers fan, you're going to be hoping that Portland can pull through with a few of their younger guys. Will it really happen? Who knows? But the Portland Trailblazers are the home team. So who knows? The Warriors are terrible away from home. So if you're a Lakers fan, maybe you're banking on that. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens later on today. 8:30 tips out here in the UK, so I'm definitely going to be getting my eyes on at least some of it. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch the Pelicans Timberwolves game, but failing that, the Phoenix Suns versus the Clippers could be an interesting matchup, a potential first round matchup. And then, well, even before then, all the East teams play each other as well, but there's a lot less riding on that one. A few interesting games though. Especially the Sixers and the Nets matching up against each other. That's already a locked first round matchup. So that's a nice little preview of what's going on. Are they going to rest a few people? Who knows? Embiid is going to win the scoring title anyway, because Luke is probably going to sit in the Dallas game. So will they play Embiid? Who knows? And then there's also the potential that Nikola Jokic can average a triple-double, but he's going to need 22 assists in this one, and that's if he even plays, because the Nuggets are already the first seed. So plenty riding on what might happen later today. It's going to be very interesting. What do I think is going to happen? What do I predict 5th through 9th? Now, I'm going to predict that the Phoenix Suns will beat the Clippers. Even if the Suns rest a lot of their players, it'd be a very Clippers thing for the Clippers to bottle it against the Phoenix Suns. However, I do think that I think that the Clippers are going to fall down. I think the Clippers are going to fall down to the down to I forget the 7th seed. I think the Clippers are going to fall to the 7th seed. I'm putting it out there. I think that it's going to be Warriors, Pelicans, Clippers, Lakers. I think the first playing matchup, the 7v8, is going to be Clippers versus Lakers. How exciting will that be if that ends up happening? And then obviously the Timberwolves will finish 9th, and then they'll play the Thunder in the 9v10 matchup. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen later tonight. Hopefully I'll be able to get this out before the games start, so it'll be nice and relevant. Let me know if you guys want a proper playoff preview, maybe a playing preview as well. Of, like I said, the regular season ends tonight, so everything is going to be decided by about 10 p.m. tonight, local time to me. So I'm very excited. Let me know if you guys are excited too, and I will see you guys next time for some post-season basketball. Peace.